of a dua that a sheikh made for me once. He just said, "May Allah," and he stopped right there and say anything after that. He came from Saudi Arabia. We're at you. This is one of my Yukon days. Hands, and he said, "May Allah." He stopped right there, and everybody was just in pause mode. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. What's up, bro?
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah protect my deficiencies and allow me to give a good performance.
I mean, you remind me of a dua that a sheikh made for me once. He just said, "May Allah," and he stopped right there and say anything after that. He came from Saudi Arabia. We're at you. This is one of my Yukon days. He raised his hands and he said, "May Allah." He stopped right there, and everybody was just in pause mode. And after that, it's been a joke. It's like the "May Allah" fill in your own du'as. You're blank.
Use your own imaginations, yeah.
All right. So I think we should remind our audience.
Gotta get closer.
You gotta get closer? Okay, don't get too close now. All right. And the next thing you see that you're on my laps and we're reading each other.
We're doing the sunnah thing, touching
true.
our
Yes, the hadith of
knees.
Angel.
Hadith of Jibreel.
Jibreel.
Yeah.
آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر. Okay. All right. So anyways, I think we should remind ourselves again one more time, and then the audience, from my perspective, I think this is important, to have deep questions, get in touch with your soul, the inner parts of your soul, and also a reminder to ourselves that sometimes, even though we think that certain things are insignificant, a certain conversation could change someone's life. I think it was 2021, there was a study done in the United States of America, and we know the suicide rates, but it was about 48,000 something deaths by suicide in 2021. Now, that's too many deaths, obviously, right? They say every 12 seconds, I think, or 40 seconds, one death. So by the time we're done with our conversations, there's going to be plenty of people taking their own lives, right? And I feel like sometimes we shouldn't hold back with our advice and with our nasiha, and especially from a Muslim point of view. Like we mentioned, فَأَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. Last time we mentioned that if you save one life, it's like saving جَمِيعًا, like the entire humanity, right? Whether you're a person of faith or not, right? The point over here is to bring life back into you, right? And so my purpose for this is, inshallah, one day one person is going to be driving in their car or listening to us, and then they're going to truly feel guided by the fadl of Allah, right? By probably what we say or something that our experiences that we share. So,
inshallah. And I will, of course, add to that and say, yes, that and my purpose is on the day of judgment, one soul will come up front. They will save themselves, and inshallah, they can save me.
Inshallah. Bismillah. So let's do it. We know what the format is. We pick up a random
card.
Let
let me go first then. How about that? Bismillah. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually good for you.
Okay.
Which chapter or verse in the Quran resonates with you the most?
Oh my. Actually, this is so hard. This is like a generic question that people are asked, but it's so difficult to choose one verse from 6,300 and some odd verses from the Quran. Literally, it's like choosing your son or your daughter, right? Or your mother or your father. It's like you have to have, or who do you love the most? Because, you can love multiple people, right?
Still have some biases.
We have biases, but I mean, that's true. But there's so many. Okay, so what resonates with me the most? Is that what the question is? Which verse that I love the most?
Which chapter or verse in the Quran resonates with you the most? So we have, actually there are two questions, I feel like.
Okay.
Because there's a chapter.
Of course.
So you can talk about a chapter that resonates with you the most.
Well, that's Surah Al-Fatiha for me, the opening. For me, the opening is the beginning of something great, something new. Allah opens up the chapter of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is a dua. And we know that in that dua, when we say Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, that is the best gift to ask for. So Allah kind of guides us to what we need to ask for. And that's the best gift to have, right? It's not the gift itself, it's like being taught by Allah what to ask Him. And that's the sort of guidance. It's something that humbles ourselves, right? It's the opening. And I also feel like this opening is an opening to life, new opportunities and whatnot. So every time I read, Surah Al-Fatiha, I get obviously emotional. I always think about it. Sometimes I say we should get lost in the recitation of guidance, and I believe that these are the recitation of guidance. So Surah Al-Fatiha. So that's for surah. I would say Surah Al-Fatiha. My second best would be Surah Ikhlas. I just love the surah. Okay, that's literally dawah in 20 seconds, right? The best dawah you can give in 20 seconds. Who Allah is. As far as verse, oh my, I'm telling you, this is really hard for me, right? A couple of verses that come into mind. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. That
Translation.
Allah does not burden a soul more than what it can bear. And some people might get confused because they might say that about there are people taking their own lives. So why can't they handle their burden if God didn't burden them enough? Some people say, pain and whatnot, right? You got to get on certain you know more than me about medication and pain medication and whatnot. So we need to understand that this verse is referring to Allah's rules and regulations and laws in Sharia. So 5 daily prayers, He knows you can do it. That's why He gives it to you. Ramadan, 30 days, He knows you can do it. That's why He gives it to you. Hajj, if you can do it, He gives it to you, right? Financial responsibilities that Allah gives you, right? The almsgiving and taxes and whatnot, zakat. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha. Every single thing ordained by Allah that is given to you, He's given it to you because He knows you can bear it. Now, I find that inspiring because that we do maybe this much of what Allah tells us to do, but if you were to look at it, even if we can't do 100% of it, whatever we choose to do after the 5 pillars of Islam and what we need to do to stay Muslim, it's amazing to know that we would be able to do every single thing or anything that we choose to do from the religion because Allah has made it such that it's easy for us, right? And this deen was not. So that's that within that one verse. It just I'm reminded of so many things, right? So that would be that's something coming to my mind right now. Yeah.